they say government yet what they don't have to tackle.
Okay, thank you very much. I clarify that. So as you know, I said there is money in other forms that the government wants to help you. This money is annual. It is a loan. It is treated like a commercial loan, and it helps businesses that have potential for growth, and it will continue even when some it is reborrowed.
Okay.
So when you borrow and pay, then you give to the next person, and we think you can also graduate and be a bigger business.
What do
You
you
go
give
to the commercial banks,
Yes.
and so this is returning. And as you know, government has many needs, roads, services, and everything. So this is 100 billion from government, and it's a matching fund. So the institution where you have an account also puts an equivalent amount. So if you want to borrow 1 million, the government will give 500,000, and then the commercial bank or the other institution will put
So much.
500,000. So it is 50.
Nice.
So the reason we did that is that we need commitment also from these institutions, but also the government does not have unlimited. That's why it is 200. So 100 from government, 100 from the other institutions. But what you have not reached out to, we have not asked, it is not at a commercial rate like a commercial.
So that's where it's coming.
This money is 10% on the 10% per annum. Compared to the other loans which are
24.
So this is that 10, it is subsidized, that's
Okay.
why it is 10. So it is available to all Ugandans.
Who fall under the class of SMEs?
2.5.
Now let's talk about the qualification. How do I qualify as a Ugandan?
So I said every Ugandan is entitled, but you must have a business. So you have 249 people, you borrow only up to 200 million. 200 million is a lot of money for some business, which are small. Yes, you can borrow up to 200 million. But as I said, you must also have something give in case they collateral. So you must have, okay. So you must have collateral. And collateral can be a land title, can be a logbook, but you also have another product which we call block allocation. Under block allocation, you come minimum of 2 people, but you can be a group, and you access up to 20 million each of you. But because it is small, these ones you don't have mortgages. You can use Chibanda and land. Yes, Lagan, it's saying that one is yours. If the LC has stamped and everything, and you can identify that you are the one with your national ID. But if you are married, we need the spousal consent, because we don't want to come and the wife says this is not his. Okay. Because you see, want to help you to do business. You don't want to help you to give you money and disappear.
So this is the challenge you see.
So that's part of what is required. You can also use your good name. There's what we call character.
Yes.
So
brand equity.
Yes.
Yeah.
They know you have been a good citizen. You can use your name, character. You can also use your cash flows. Look at how you have been doing business. Yeah, you have been depositing, and they can also look post like your mobile money if that is needed. So your cash flows, you know that your business can generate money.
The transactions yes. Via the mobile money, are they taken as state?
Yes, it's cash flow. This is if you can demonstrate to the bank, yeah, it is cash flow. So it should be considered.
I really want to know what the ED is dropping. And someone here on Twitter saying, let me just read this. Someone on Twitter saying today you're dropping nuggets. Today you're dropping real content because it has some element of money. But when he's speaking to people who have gone past the threshold of 50 million and above. The number through which he's speaking of employees, it's with 2 to 49. That means this particular SME or company, it is tax compliant. It's paying the NSSF. It's paying all that because We've gone past 15 employees as per the law of the land. Now minimum of 2. Now we have more than this now. Me, I've just started my small factory, courtesy of this Twitter space, Anite and Maurice by motivating me. And I have my 3 people. And truth be told, Mr. Wakakamba, most people in manufacturing, they're not making adverts because they fear the taxman. And one of these days, you're going to bring the taxman here. How do I salvage my business from the taxman when I've just gotten such a facility there?
No, but
I'm bringing this in good faith. I come in peace.
Yes. No, my view about that, you see, the taxman also must operate in the context of the environment. Okay? Before the taxman comes to you, they do what they call an assessment. That assessment will indicate that Mr. Andrew Chamagero Company Limited started their business, in sector. So there is no way they can expect you have made profit or to make the return. They actually give you a number of months, 1 year, to be able to make tax return that they usually use as the basis in order to make the assessment. But mostly, let me finish this point. You'll find that the company, Andrew Chamagyo Limited, has finished like 5 years operating, but they haven't been submitting returns. So what happens is that the taxman to force you to engage, they put what they call an estimate, an estimated assessment. Okay? And then come with it. Of Uganda Revenue Authority, they will put an estimate. So this estimate, you come and say, no, you are charging me a lot. Yes. Then now you come on table, then you show them, by the way, if you look at my mobile money, if you look at my bank account, this is how much I have been making. And these are the people that I have employed. So therefore now you negotiate and you come to some form of understanding, which is a reduced. Usually, I think my brother Richard can come in, but usually,
finally she's here.
From practice, I'm a businessman.
Thank you. Yes, you're honorable. And we already started. We're 26 minutes into it, but the conversation is good. Good to have you, and welcome back from the States House, running the business with Your Excellency. Honorable Minister, first greet the listeners and the viewers wherever they are.
I was wondering, I thought they were sharing your money. What did Richard from BOU bring some money here?
He had started to explain we are so far around 100 billion, but we're getting there.
I couldn't understand why Morrison was smiling and you're laughing.
He was talking about the taxman coming, and then if they,
it's one of the difficult problems. It's what we are talking about taxes.
And it's a hard one. It's a hard one.
Right. Okay, let me start by saying hello to those who are tuned in today for live chat with Anita, and I want to thank all of you who are listening in. And of course, I want to thank the moderator for spending the time, and for Richard and Morrison. I want to thank you guys very, very much for accepting to come and be on this program for us to talk to our citizens and let them know the opportunities that the government has in place, particularly when we're talking money, because really people think that government is always just speaking about wishes but not implementing. So for me, I'm very excited that we are here to dive in, particularly in the areas of Ugandans who want to do business and those who are very small and who have had hit with COVID and so they started their SME, that small business, and they could not continue doing the business because of COVID and many other challenges. So government put in place this recovery fund, and I was very excited that who better than the head of finance from Bank of Uganda, the central bank, to come and break it down for us, because there's something I want to know where the money is. Yes, not where the money is.
So far, we're getting there. But nonetheless, thank you so much, Honorable Minister. So to those of you who are having questions, where is she? She's here. So previously she was tweeting Tuja, but she's already here. So the issue of the taxman, as you've heard from board chair, the taxman will have a negotiation table with me, who is in a small business. But it's not every day that the Wananchi understand the tax regime well. That is a self-assessment regime. And this is why I want to bring it to you, ED. We can talk to the taxman and all. But the businesses that fall below the 100 million threshold, where do they fall? Can they still come and have access to this? And if yes, do they still fall under the same criteria to be used for accessing this money?
Thank you very much. Thank you, Honorable Minister, for us. It's not every day that you sit in here, Minister.
Of course, there is power here.
It is an opportunity. So to break it down, as I said, every Ugandan has is entitled. Maybe to break it down, I'll give you a type of business that we have lent this money.
Now service.
These are businesses like saloons. Because during COVID, the ladies were not going to make hair, the men were not going to shave the beards, and so they were affected. So we give money to people operating salons, those are small businesses. People who have rentals, the tenants were not paying because they were not working.
And it's fun.
So if somebody wants to renovate rentals, we are giving money for that one. People in markets like St. Barikuden, you are selling shoes. We are giving money to such people who are selling shoes, bags, because their businesses were there. We are giving money to people who have garages. You have a garage, because vehicles were not moving, you also not making money. So we give money to garages. People have taxis, these matatus. If you want money to repair the vehicle, to bring it back to the road, all those are eligible, including borders. If you have what the bank wants, you have an account, you have your logbook, all those types of businesses, small as they may be, they are all entitled access this. And one thing which you didn't ask is that this money can be borrowed for 6 months, up 4 years. And there's a grace period of 1 year.
When you're just doing
those, you may have, for example, you may renovate your houses, but then you need the debt tenants. So you have 1 year in which you are not paying the rent. So that's what we call grace.
So when I go to the bank and I'm applying for this facility, how is it called so that I don't confuse? There's so many products that are within my commercial.
So when you go as a common person, you can say to the bank, I want COVID money. From bank.
Okay.
Yeah. If you are a bit sophisticated,
yes,
you call it small business recovery fund or SBRF. But everybody knows money for COVID. So you take the money for COVID and then they process for you.
Okay.
We will talk about if they don't what you can.
Okay. Friends, if you're just joining us, the conversation is about the 200 billion COVID-19 recovery fund for SMEs and how does this initiative tie in the broader investment landscape in Uganda. And I want to bring this question to you, Honorable Minister. Do you mind shedding the light on the strategic goals and objectives of this 200 billion, especially on the scaling it up to the broader investment landscape of Uganda? Because you keep telling us invest, invest, invest. But what is the strategic direction to this?
So it is the vision bearer who visualized this investment, and that is His Excellency the President. He thought that now that we have invested money in UDB for all the other large and extra large businesses, but we needed to look at small businesses in the face of COVID. So the other big businesses, they had been given an opportunity for them to be able to apply for loan deferment or loan breaks or tax breaks that we get. But then the smaller businesses were not covered. So he then thought and came up with a package for these small businesses. And like you've said, this is really very small businesses where you're not going to ask them for a collateral for land title. So, for instance, you tell them you have to produce an audited book of accounts for 1 year. So those minute, like you can't expect a boda it's a loan person to be having those books of accounts audited because it costs money. And so really this is without all those encumbrances, all those big English words that make it very difficult for people to do business. So the present vision for Uganda was to get this ordinary person who was robbed of his day-to-day living to be able to get something to start his business again. So it was really for them to restart their businesses and for them to move and stand on their feet and then move forward. So that is really the vision. However, I thought we should have this discussion today because at the top management of Ministry of Finance, we have been asking the questions from the central bank that also is part of Ministry of Finance, that we want to know how many of the ordinary Ugandans who are doing these SME businesses have gotten the money, because we're getting so many questions from the public. I did not get this recovery fund. So yes, you put to 100 billion and the participating banks are supposed to put 100 billion. So when I discussed with Richard, who is the head of finance, and he thought that it was an okay idea for us to have this discussion. As you know, that Morrison and I are in the business of encouraging people to take opportunities, advantage of opportunities in come. So we do have so many opportunities and we cluster them. There are incentives that we give to foreign investors and the incentives that we give to domestic investors, and now the incentives that we give to SMEs. And really, I want today's discussion is really the S, that S. As you see, he didn't even talk about the media.
Yes.
He didn't even talk about the extra large because this focus is on that small person. And he will tell us here that there's still money to be given out. It's not like we have given all the thing. So we also want to fast track the giving, the uptake, because many Ugandans do not know about this money.
Correct.
And they think that, oh, now COVID has gone and therefore the money has gone. But Richard here will tell you, yes, we are still giving out this money and it's available for them. And what we need to know, I really want us to have a chat around the flexibility of the banks in accessibility. Because I got the report submitted to us. Looking at the report, I thought, since we're having a chat, so I'll not leave it to the moderator, Richard, I thought I saw very few banks participating.
Correct.
And that means that the uptake is only in the central area. So what is it? Because the participating banks were supposed to be more. It's all the commercial banks and the development bank in Uganda. Meaning that Post Bank was supposed to be there, UDB, Housing Finance, all those banks are supposed to be there. But I was very surprised. Not even seeing Equity participating. Did you alienate all those other international banks?
DFCU.
DFCU, I could see them and I'm like, there should be a problem with this report. So I want to hear from your testimony. If I am in Karamoja, Canal, for example, I have my kiosk. In my kiosk, I am selling, I don't want to say cigarette, because
This is a new business.
no, it's just that, I have to balance between Christ and business.
No.
And also God knows about this business.
It's business.
So I'm selling my mandas. And if I want to get the money now, what do I have to do? This is what I really want the Ugandan here to hear. What do I have to do? I have my mandazi. From that mandazi, I suffered because COVID closed me down, and so I want to restart that business, and my capital requirement is not even 200,000. So these are the discussions that I thought, Richard, I'm not asking you, don't worry to interject and just come in there.
Thank you very much, Honorable Minister. As I say, this money is available for Ugandans. Actually, I think that's a young couple from Marua. accessible money. They have a business like small farmers. So this we are giving money to everyone who has a business. But the challenge you have having, and I have a list of banks which gave out the money. The FC happens to be one of them.
Did they give which corner?
With very few customers. All banks signed on this act. It is a challenge for them to tell us why we are not giving the money because they signed on the agreement. We have an agreement between the Bank of Uganda, the Ministry of Finance, and all financial institutions that are licensed by Banco. So we are going to ask them to tell us why. Now, this week, I dispatched staff all districts where Bank of Uganda has a presence. So we have summoned all branch managers to our offices to explain why they are not processing applications that are submitted by Ugandans that have businesses and qualified for this money. But also I want to ask Ugandans, this money is for people who are, I can say formal. They have an account in the bank. And as I said, the government has many other interventions, even for those who don't have bank. You have the PBM to take care of those ones, but this one is for those who have businesses and have accounts. They are formal. The bankers, we want to help the businesses to grow because that's why banks are putting also a portion. And when we need more money, we shall come to the ministry and they give us more, and the banks will match that. At the time when the government has maybe more money, we shall decide whether the bank should take the 50% or reduce the good spender so that more government money is available.
And it's much.
Because we can change the matching from half maybe to 20% so that the banks don't feel like they have a burden. But they are working in this country. They need an environment. So they have also to help Ugandans to survive and grow. They are making money from this economy.
Allow me to read the banks to the Ugandans to make sense. The banks that actually signed this agreement so far, and they have complied. We have Opportunity Bank. So far, it has had 889 participants who have applied. Pride Microfinance has 126. Post Bank Uganda, honorable, represent us as Ugandans, it's 61 who have applied. Trust, Finance Trust, we have 27.
No, we want to focus on those who have received disbursement.
They are right at the disbursement of the 899 from Opportunity Bank. We have had 735 who have actually who have got the money. Pride Microfinance, 126 applied, 101 got. Post Bank, 61 applied, 27 got the money. Finance Trust, 27 applied, 23 got the money. Housing Finance, 10 applied, 0 got the money. Diamond Trust, 9 applied, 9 got the money. Centenary Bank, 4 applied, 1 got the money. DFCU Bank, 3 applied, and the 3 got the money. And this is on the scale of all the banks you have in the country. Only these ones are the ones that have been there. I want to read for you a comment, Edie, so that you make sense of it. Someone has just sent a message, and please keep these comments coming because they help the conversation be real. Darius Dos Santos is on Twitter. He says, I tried to get that money, and they told me I needed audited financial books for at least 2 years. To be honest, a young man tour operator, how did they expect us to keep books of accounts during COVID? All in all, my stalled project needed only 20 million shillings to survive at some point, and it's still there and still lagging, and he puts those very, very faces. Then Natal Adrobo says, good program, but no hope. Always the top officers at the district level overshadow these programs, and the poor in the villages are just excited about this. Then someone says, I went to the bank, they asked for so much of collateral, they asked for the English is too much with those with this money. How can we tell it that?
I know the English when it's too much, its name is too much. I probably that explains why we only have 899. Can you imagine of all the Ugandans, there are only 800 and 99 people who are disabled. So I thought today we want to get out of office. We want to talk business and talk this money properly. For me, even I want to understand it more. Because when I read these documents, what bothers me is it is said every Ugandan who is in business is eligible, correct?
Correct.
Then why is it that it's only 899 who have received? And those who have applied, the total is only 1,129. So where is the problem?
Of the 45
Of
plus
the
million.
problem is what is the problem? Where are we? What can we do? So let's have this chat.
Okay, so this report you are looking at is as an end of June.
Okay. Yes.
Okay, so you are talking of 45 million. You know, you are counting even children.
Okay.
So the 1,000 is a small number. I can't pretend.
Correct.
It's very small.
That's true.
We still have a lot of work. Now, when this program started, you see, we have also to educate the banks. There is awareness to do. Because why was there at 20 million? So those are the things we have now. Possibly our partners also are not appreciating how the program should work. Right? So that's why I said we are also going to engage them and sensitize. Okay. Remember, we have done this on for 2 years, and from the report you can see that some people actually have paid back.
Yes.
And we have made amendments, and we also say that when people went to banks, right? Banks found that people had other loans. So we allowed them that you can use this money to pay part of the loan.
And then
yes, you can use pay part of the loan. But you need some money to put into the business. Because if you use all of it to pay the loan, you will close. So you can use 30%
to stay afloat.
To pay the other loan, then 70%, whatever percentage, then you put some of the money into the business. Okay? So there is flexibility that we are creating around this money. And you know, it takes time because when this message you have taken, people are getting it, then they go back to prepare themselves, to prepare the document. Okay. So
So what document do I have to prepare?
Audited books?
No. Audited books. If you want 200 million, you may need audited books and accounts. But if you want 20 million, and they say you have a local allocation, where you can use even your name, your character. You can use your character, you can use cash flow, you can use chart, logbook, you know, those kind of things. Because the money you need is not a lot. Up to 20 million, you don't need all those kind of documents. Chibanda. And I have approved loans with Chibanda written in Uganda. So the English, in the local language, so the English can be broken down for these people. What we need is the people interface, the banks that interface with the customer.
The language.
We need to engage.
Yes.
We need to engage the officers that interface with our people. As I said, Bank of Ghana cannot interface with everybody. We don't have branches, we don't have enough facilities to reach to. That's why we said the banks that we license, we should do it for, and we give them incentives. Can I tell you one of the incentives? The 10% is only for the banks. The government does not take any interest for Ghana. So we give them that 10%, even on the government portion, for them to help process those applications, right? So we give them incentives, and when you pay, we give them some time, collect the money before they give it back to us.
Or the bank.
Yes. So if you collect the money in January, we say, okay, you give it back to us in June, right? So we have some incentives we have given them to help this program run and this.
Chairman, you want to weigh in on this?
Yeah. You see, they say that the evidence of, I'm paraphrasing, you know, of the ladies in that the pudding. That's because you see, there are incentives that my brother Richard is talking about that would actually make the banks incentivized to move up and down, making sure that they reach a lot of Uganda. But somehow they are not. Yes. And I think last week when the Uganda Investment Authority was opening the SME portal, the minister was asking why is it that when you go to the banks, the flyers that you see, the billboards that you see, they are not talking of this COVID money. They are not talking of the small business recovery fund. They are not advertising. So I think Bank of Uganda may need to, I shouldn't use the word crack the whip, but I feel that's what I mean. To have a honest engagement, a honest conversation with these banks and figure out why is it that we have put 100 billion, you are supposed to match it with another 100 billion and reach all these small businesses across the country. Why is it that people,
10 billion
people are applying and even fewer are getting the real money? So it's conversation. Of course, we have had a rumor which has to be verified.
Yes.
And that rumor is that, the people who work in these banks across the country, who are loan officers, there is a bonus system in the banks.
Let me read you this message. Let me read this message here that to bring home. Someone says, this is Najabar. Chamagelu. Thank you so much for this conversation. This is what happens with my bank. That money is there. I applied for it. The loan officer told me, when you get this money, you can't get this money from the bank, but there is some other money within the bank you can get. But when you get the 30 million, on Zijamu or Hutan or Wangi. Now, this is a loan officer within the bank. I'm getting 30 million, but I have to give him a kickback of 5 million before I actually go in my business. Because he has phoned my. Isn't that the rumor?
No, the rumor. That's what those are part of the rumors that Bank of Uganda must use its will and investigative capabilities to engage in a honest conversation with banks. But what I wanted to say really is that because also banks have different incentives, and that there are different incentives that once they have their own money, and Chamagel is their own office. So the bonus that is paid to you is on how many people you have given money in terms of uptake of the loan, but on the bank's products. So meaning that on the top cover, the loan officers have the other products of the bank.
So you must prioritize the products of the bank that the government.
And those ones are between 16 to 24% in terms of interest rate. So they are the banks actually making more money, if you will. But the loan officers are getting more bonus. So the other one of government of Muntua, they try to hide it.
Oh yes.
So there has to be a honest conversation in terms of, can that bonus structure be reformed, or are we saying that government may want to, especially Bank of Uganda, may need to sit with the banks and then they meet halfway to ensure that the incentive structure that drives this business recovery resilience or COVID resilience, that it is more competitive. So there has to be a review and have a seat. Bank of Uganda sits with the banks and
But you see, I thought that as government we need to do more to ensure that there's accessibility and increase in uptake. Because looking at this report, you see those who are in micro. Well, they have 6.5 billion loan worth that that has been given to those who are in micro. Then the small ones, they only 5%, right? So I want to understand from him, because there is why I'm not now today I'm just having this discussion because there is this ordinary person who is small, who is telling me, but I have worked these banks. And I have failed, even when I ask for the COVID money, it is nowhere. Written, it is nowhere.
That's what I'm saying. That why you?
It is not there.
Yes.
But so why we need to break it down is, what is the category, for instance? What are the requirements of top requirements for me as an SME, small, to be able to be
as a saloon operator?
Just give me 3 so that I want us to use this opportunity and send the young people who are watching and listening to us to go there tomorrow and test that system.
And they'll give us feedback on that.
The spirit that we are in is that we want to break down this system and then we want to test the system. And then we want to see that it works. If it doesn't work, then we come back to the boardroom and have this discussion.
Thank you very much, Honorable Chair. I first want to agree with Chair. You see, the reason we are here is there is a problem.
Correct. There is a crisis.
There is a problem. Okay? Government gave money, it is not being taken.
Yes.
So there is a problem, and we need to put our heads together to find out where the problem is. I wish you had even invited one of the banks, and I want to thank the Bank for helping in taking this further and giving out money. So there is a problem. So the minister is asking me, what do we need? One, you need to have a bank account.
To qualify opportunity banks, why you're thanking them is that of the 1,200, 888 people applied this opportunity bank. By the way, I didn't even know about the opportunity bank. That man.
It's in tier 3, right?
It's tier 1.
It's in tier 1.
But his opportunity bank has given to 700 as of June. So this is it's okay. That is commendable. And what today? That's it. Success, pre-success.
If everybody had that, maybe the money would have gone.
Sentina, they have 400.
Gives you 3 and you wanted to talk about that.
So the things you need is to have a bank account.
Okay, in the bank.
In one of the institutions. And I met some people, if we didn't have accounts, you talk to the bank, they open the account, in 1 week you have gotten the money. So you need a bank account.
Yes.
You need to demonstrate that you have that.
Okay.
They have come and this.
How do I demonstrate? By
you go with the own office.
Okay.
To your business.
They might be a registered business.
It is easier if it is registered, but even those that are not registered have access. I told you about people in Central who they don't sell shoes. Yeah, they also access.
Yeah.
If you are formal, it is easier for the bank to trust you because remember they are putting also money. It's easier to trust you and give you money. So if you are formal, it's better.
No, but Richard, we need to break it down.
Have a trading license.
Good.
Trading license. That's enough. We don't have
Only
to
two
have
things.
trading license,
the bank account.
a bank account. They come and see what you are doing. Then you have collateral.
So must I write a letter?
Or you apply, there is a form. You go to the bank, they give you a form.
What are the written things in the form?
Your name, national ID, the location of the business, you know.
But to get a trading license must be registered.
Registered
as a business.
As a business.
Yes, that's maybe KCCA.
No, what he says is that
you don't have the company URS.
No, to get a trading license with KCCA, for instance,
You must
you must have registered with URSB.
Okay, so
one-stop center.
Yes. Okay. But I know we have given money to another place.
How?
Because the bank has gone to their business, their shop, and it is worth financing. So and you have corrected.
Mr. Yaruga,
because you see, this
he has a shop.
We don't
and I apply that it is my shop. What is the margin of error? The children's officer is going to come, and I'm here, and it's Morris's shop, but I applied as Andrew Chamagiro. And you come and they tell you that this is Chamagiro's shop, but literally this is not my shop.
Okay, so you applied using your national ID.
Yes, no. I applied using my national ID as Andrew. I actually don't have a shop, but I connive with him that this shop is mine. And you come with your loans officer and give me the money. How do you get that?
The Chibanda is also in. There are many documents.
Yes, I'm using the shop Kwanza for the shop approach.
Okay. So because you have to satisfy all the requirements, there are documents you have maybe on the logbook,
the receipts.
The receipts.
Of rent.
Yes, they can talk to your staff.
Okay.
They say this man we don't know him. Yeah. So they have to find out that you actually the owner of the business. Yeah, because if they give you money and you disappear,
and then I have to pay back.
Remember, you are going to open an account. They are requirements opening an account.
Yes.
There is a list of opening an account. So you must be the one. They cannot make a mistake of giving money to somebody else. No, that one.
Are you trying to say that if I even open my bank account today and I can automatically get the money?
You get the money, but you get little because they don't know the trust. That trust that they have not known for a long time.
Okay.
So they can first maybe give you like 5 million. Yeah. Then as you progress, you can come for top up. You can get money. But we don't need body solution, those things. Those ones are not necessary. But most of our business yes, sir. I have been dealing with the federation
of SMEs.
Yeah.
Working by the friends.
Okay, they
Yes.
have had the awareness
Yes.
in Gogo, in the show ground.
Yes.
We had, I think, over 500 people in the Gogo.
But
We went to Mbarara. We had so many people with him. But why they don't come, even with the Casita. Casita was there, Ambasita, Casita Mbarara.
Yes.
We have engaged all those.
Could it be our
But their
interest-
members are not coming.
Could it be our interest rates? What is our interest
Interest
rate?
rate is 10%.
Which is lower than
It's
anywhere.
the lowest. Money does charge 10% per week or per month. This is per annum.
Okay.
For the whole year.
Just hanging there, friends. It's already 7 p.m. and we're still having the space. If you have any questions, kindly just follow Honorable Evelyn and Anite on Twitter and drop your questions in there. And those who have our DM, send in your questions. We're going to respond to them. We just have just 1 hour to wrap this up. We have the money guy with us today. That is the ED of Finance in Bank of Uganda. That is Mr. Ryagava. Richard, the Executive Director of Finance, is telling you where the money is. We have failed to get this money. Now that you know where the money is, hashtag smell money, smell wealth. And that's where we are. Now that you have the minister here, Honorable Minister, with all this conversation going on and the energy you've been pushing, especially in the investment landscape, do you think the media is doing enough to disseminate this information? Because I am here, I work in the media 24/7, I am hearing this money for the first time. And how do we fix this?
Well, the point that I'm going to make is a double-edged one because I'm also from the media myself. I'm a journalist.
Yes.
I'm a journalist myself. But you see, I studied that you must be truthful, fair, and balanced. So I'm going to make a statement which is truthful, fair, and balanced. And my colleagues who studied mass communication, like myself, will have to understand and appreciate this. I think we're not being fair and we're not being balanced. Because you see, the job of the media is to inform, educate, and entertain. So I think that we are spending much of our energies and the airtime in the media to do what we call entertainment, as much as more than what we call to inform and to educate. Because we are a developing country. It takes all of us to come up together and take it as a responsibility to educate and inform. Because yes, government has this package in place. So I would like to see UBC, NTV, NBS running this information. You don't have to wait for a press conference. You have to call the responsible officers and who is there to give the answers. But yes, we are now improving this. And I think that the media can be better to propel this information. But also the population has a problem. Because what are they doing with their airtime?
They don't know.
No, they know. I can tell you, I will put a tweet on how to access money. But then I will put a tweet
About your kids.
about my kids.
The kids. Yes. Maybe you need to match the kids and the investments.
Getting rich and making money. You should run after. This is a problem. People like lighter issues, like headache. Money, no. But when you say that you're going to kiss, you put yourself kissing.
Yes.
4,000.
You're trending.
I'm having Morrison Rakakamba, the one who talks about the risk, talking money, but the likes will be trending. Is it trending? It's trending. wants to know.
Yes.
In my area where I come from, the Luberas are very exciting farms. So they say that the Carioman is that I'm used to my poverty. I think this is what is happening.
You won't change me.
Change me, I'm used to my poverty. I think this is what is happening. We shouldn't get used to poverty. I mean, we are sitting in a geographical location that is the most peaceful.
Correct.
In East Africa, we are the most peaceful. We have all the enablers. Peace is number one enabler for you to be able to do business. That means that you can do any business. The other enabler is access to credit. Now we have clustered and given access to credit to different categories of people. But now you're hearing that we even made the credit to as low as interest rate of 10%. But you're going to leave this bank and run to the money lender who will tell you per month pay an interest rate of 25%. It's a point of fact. People run to those money lenders and the money lenders rob them of their because the money lender's interest is actually your house. But here you can negotiate with the bank because you have the central bank supervising this bank if they want to come and take your collateral. By the way, much of the money is collateral free. Yes, recently, a friend of mine who's in business just sent me a tweet, not a tweet, a WhatsApp message of all those assets, people's assets, which banks have advertised, and they're going to be sold off. So I thought that we should have this discussion, and I want us to go there, dive there. But the central bank helps us because, again, why? As much as I blame Uganda, they spend time on non-important issues, but also Ugandans are also watching what the banks are doing because also the banks are now taking away their assets. They advertise all these assets, the banks want to take them away.
Actually, Honorable, we as Vanguard we prefer to save in our local circles than coming to the banks because we believe we believe that banks are sharks. They are going every time you find anyone at the bottom of the pyramid, their fear is, will my collateral be saved in one way or the other? That's the fear we have. Thank you, Honorable. Morrison, just to get into here, I want us to look at the investment promotion. As you are here overseeing investment promotion, how will you collaborate with the SMEs, the Walugembe and the fellas, the casitas and all, to streamline the application and approval processes? Because you realize that the ED says there is a lot more of these monies just waiting to be taken, but the process and the rate at which they're being approved, there is a stampede there. So how are you going to liaise and collaborate with the SMEs to streamline that for purposes of this recovery fund? Then what support mechanisms do you have in place to guide the SMEs through these processes? Just so you know, Mr. Walgembe is listening in and saying, I wish I was invited. Please go on.
Send me WhatsApp with all his views. Oh yes, yes. I mean, the questions you've asked, it's like if this is for a PhD.
But I trust you. We always say truth.
Yeah, but I will attempt that. But before I say that, the good thing is that the Bank of Uganda is, which is the banks, and the major currency of any bank, what we trade in is trust. So if Ugandans stop trusting banks, those banks will collapse. And I think that's a very, very important aspect that they have to. It is very important. Ugandans believe that banks act in their interest, and that the banks are fair, and that the banks are interested in their profits. And make no mistake, once the economy grows, once people become wealthy, the banks become even wealthier. So they should be interested. They should have vested interest in making sure that their customers are doing very well, and that they are helping people, to lift up their business to be profitable, such that they have more deposits, so that they can even lend more. So this mistrust that is happening from the WhatsApp message the minister that you received talking about banks taking properties.
They actually advertise these assets. These assets are advertised by the banks.
Yes. So people have to feel that they can trust the banks. Whereas I also believe.
So the central bank has to tell us how can we make people to trust the banks.
Yes. So whereas this is a liberalized economy, and once you borrow, definitely you're expected to pay back. But I've also been told, by the way, that when our people are borrowing from banks, they are rushing very much. They are not reading the agreements they sign. So once they sign it, the banks now come and say, "But you signed on this this loan agreement. Now why are you?" But we need to humanize to understand the context of our country, but humanize these discussions and make sure that the banks and the borrowers and the business people meet at the center, because there seems to be a rift growing, and I think it's something that as a country, Honorable Minister, that we need to address. Having said that, of course, UIA is at the center of facilitating, but also catalyzing.
Yes.
Catalyzing business and investment. First of all, through ideas. The other week, Honorable Minister, as you remember, we started the discussion on the 100 business ideas that can facilitate SMEs.
People already rolling.
Even young people, SMEs don't even have to think so much. They come to UIA, they get a piece of the ideas, and if they are ready to roll up their sleeves, go and work, they go to the banks that have been facilitated by Richard Biago from Bank of Uganda. They now get this money, collateral free and in a flexible way, and they begin these ideas. So UIA does that, but also we recently, the Honorable Minister at UIA and the Bank of Uganda was also there, and a number of banks launched an SME portal. This SME portal provides, and markets, SMEs, whether you are a salon, whether you have a farm for goat, pigs, whether you are selling shoes, you can put your products on the portal, and then after getting the money, you have made your products, or you have increased the volume of products. Now we have ICT, we have e-commerce, so it's an integrator. You put your shoes, your bitenge, other things you are selling on this portal, and then Chamagiro buys. So we are now, this portal is also linking this SME to the market, such that they can expand, become big, and become true investors. And then, so ours is really information, but also now we are acting as an integrator, and we are happy that Bank of Uganda and other banks have agreed to be our partners in order to democratize this.
Chairman, ED, how do we gain the trust again? What the Honorable alluded to when she said that the trust from the Wananchi with the banks, even everyone when they come on air, when they're saying, they say, first lesson, if you're getting into business after COVID, tofuna loan. Vamu banka, yogira ni baganda. And this is a conversation that has been going on for the last 2 or 3 years, and there is that mistress that is there. When you look at the uptake of this particular fund versus the energies you're investing in as a regulator in information dissemination of these facilities, how we bring up the job, how do we bring back the trust? And if the trust is to come, what is our call to action as citizens who are actually coming to get this current facility?
Okay, thank you very much. Before I answer it,
Respond.
I also did not mention, I forgot to mention that schools are a major beneficiary of this money. Schools can come and get this money, hotels, entertainment, including media.
Even entertainment.
If you didn't have money for
media, Shiba can come.
Yes, if you are not getting money for adverts, your business didn't do well. Hotels, everybody.
Yes.
So about the trust, it is important because banks also cannot open when there are no customers.
Correct.
It's important that this partnership is nurtured and grows. The reason why banks ask for collateral in case you disappear. But let me tell you where banks get money from for loans. They collect money from you, deposit your money with 1 million. They give it to me. So if I disappear, you come for your money, where will it come?
Nowhere.
That is one of the reasons that they ask, in case you disappear, you don't come back. Where will the money for the depositor come? Right? And we have
But
also
on this one, you said there's no collateral.
there is collateral depending on the amount. If you don't have collateral, you cannot have 20 million.
Okay.
You have Chibanga, you have chattels in that race. You cannot go beyond 20 million. Okay? And 20 million is a lot of money for our small.
Of course.
Yeah.
It's a lot
What's
of
the
money.
least they can borrow?
The highest you can borrow is 200. 200 million. But up to 20 million, you do not have to have any formalized collateral going to lawyers and all this. You don't have up to 20 million locally. And has done very well. So we need. I wish next time we come, you can have one of the banks here.
Yeah.
To answer this question, they should come and say why they are chasing people. But I also want to say that saving in a circle is not bad. We can encourage people who can save in circles to do so. Because what is important is to save. And I want also to say that circles can access this money. The circle can come and borrow, and each person will have a share of the money. But the circle will not be the one borrowing, it will be that individual whom we are giving the money. Okay? You can come with the fight, but we say this is for Richard, this so on. Okay. So we are cognizant of this trusting. I will take back the message and we meet the banks. The governor meets the banks every month. And this is one of the messages that you have take to the banks. Make sure that they also have a responsibility to give back the community.
But they think that COVID didn't hit the country. You can imagine now, just post COVID, they are advertising people's buildings. Well, Honorable Morrison makes the point that when you sign, you're in a hurry and you sign and you don't know those. But why do they put those landmines? Why don't you help them? Because they put too many landmines.
It's the partnership. It's the interest of the bank that the borrower understand. They will not come back.
Exactly.
They have to explain. You can't sign something you don't know. This person must sit you down and explain to you the basic items, the main items of the agreement. You have signed to borrow for 2 years. You have signed to borrow at 10%. You have signed, for this, what do you call it? The grace period. All those things have to be clear to the person taking the money. Otherwise, if they may not come back, or they go and say, this bank cheats, you don't want your bank to be in the media for doing the wrong thing.
The problem here we have is one, the people who receive us in the banks, they speak a lot of English. And this English is one of the scarecrows we have. Two, paperwork. Like someone said, we're going to sign here, sign there, sign, come back tomorrow again, sign here. And they're not telling you what to sign. But can we, through you, the regulator, use you to check the integrity card?
And I wanted to add one thing,
Yes.
such that my brother Richard
Gets it rightly.
can also respond to it.
Yes.
Some other day, some other conditional, the banks, they call it political exposure.
I know, right?
Yes,
I saw that thing. I didn't
that if
understand.
you have a friend who is in politics or you school for a counselor,
Yes.
and if the bank, maybe you have an issue with the bank, you can go on radio.
Yes.
Or if you are a journalist and you can tweet,
Yes.
they even check your Twitter space
Have you ever tweeted against?
or WhatsApp.
No, policeman for you, policeman is more.
He does not qualify.
He's politically exposed, so he is a risk. He's a risk. He can take our money, refuse to pay back,
And make noise.
and make noise on Twitter, and use the money name to our bank.
He does not qualify.
They may not say it. They may not even know it.
Yes.
Say this guy is a political risk, and they don't give you the money.
That's
So,
the integrity.
I don't so we have suffered this. You're thinking that the space was for the 190. Actually, this space is for us.
Everyone is.
Check the environment. Because let me tell you, there was a time I really wanted to go and buy treasury bond. And And I went.
Were you in time? Or you were
Yes, I
rushing?
was in time. I was not rushing because I know this thing of rushing.
Mm.
Because when you're going, most
Yes.
times you're at the point of desperation. And so when you're desperate, the English people say desperate times need desperate measures.
Correct.
So you're going for a desperate measure and you read sign here, sign
You
here.
don't read.
This time I was so relaxed. And I've taken the decision. I want to do business. I really want to invest. I go to this bank and they tell me you're politically exposed. I mean, yes, I am, but I have my money. It's on my account. I just want to buy the bond.
So they're cool at this.
So they started saying, no, I got disgusted and I actually couldn't go ahead with the investment. So now that we are reporting this to you.
So they refused their whole minister.
Of course,
to invest in
you're
gold.
politically exposed. And they are fearing that something. Ordinary people are suffering, the politically. Yes, I agree. I am able to. My proximity to the fountain of honor is very close.
Yes.
But Morrison's proximity to me is
affects you. I don't qualify it. Political exposure. Yes.
Save this question because we are speaking for more Ugandans. It's not
Us and 7,000 others.
What that means that there is no policy that that politicians should not get services from the bank. So I know they have this policy of politically exposed persons. Possibly there is a fear that when you are very strong, you will not pay. But if you want to deposit your money and it is genuine, you are not doing your money laundering, you don't see a reason. They should do their background check and know that this is genuine money and take.
They say the central bank will come for them.
Yes,
do that, actually.
the regulator, it comes from the regulator.
If it is money laundering, you report. But we cannot say a minister cannot have an account. The minister cannot invest in gold. No. What we know, we have what we call the Credit Reference Bureau, right?
Yes.
This one records all the borrowings that you have had. So if you have defaulted somewhere, then that is an issue. If you borrow and you don't pay.
This is about investment.
No,
that shows that you actually have your money that you have earned out of your salary from government. Okay.
So where was the money on your account?
On my account.
But how do they accept the money on the account?
No, it is one account. Now you want to move.
Yes, because if you are not a good person, they should not have your account. The fact that they have your account and your money,
yes, but just what Morrison told you. This is what they're using, but only on one person. Even I'm surprised that you said so. That's why I had to bring this testimony because it is the truth. It is what is happening.
So
yes,
I take note of this. Will follow us. But what I want to tell Ugandans is that we have a desk that handles conflict. So you don't have anyone in Bank of Uganda. Just drop a letter at the gate. The letters are received at the gate opposite Grand Imperial. You can address it to the governor to reach the right person. We will handle all these complaints and we want them to write, including Darius, including get the money. We will help them. We will help them. We are there. We are public office. We are a public institution. We are supposed to serve the public. So for us to be in offices and people are suffering, that's not right.
So how about my investors whose land and houses that they built, they are about to go because they picked a loan? How do we help them? I really don't know because they run into government.
For bailout.
Not even bailouts. I think what they're looking at is it's a way of structuring. I don't know how far deep you stretch into working with the banks that you're licensed or that you're regulating to see how they can be flexible to give them more time. Because you see, for example, the factory I defaulted to pay rent. And then you come aggressively just close that factory. How do you expect to recover your money?
Okay, means I take note of that and work with the banks, the head of supervision, ask him what because we always intervene some of these people. But there are those that you see there is no hope of bringing back a deposit money. That's where the problem is. Right? If you take a deposit as money, say you have taken a billion, After 5 years, you have not come back to pay anything. Your factory is not taking shape. And so the owners of the money, remember also the Ugandans, they will come for their money. And in cases where that has become a problem, that people who have taken money have not returned, because for us we protect the owners of the money, those who have put the money back. We have gone and closed those back. Right?
Okay.
Because they did not look after the money that they received. They did not do a good job in assessing the
So
people
they are
who
also
take
in
the money.
business.
Yes, because the person who takes the money, you must be sure that they bring it back. If they don't, then you have a problem with the owner of the money. So they collect money and lend. If the borrowers don't come back, this one you can't tell them that your money was taken by so and so. No. If I put money on my account of 10 million, I expect to come and find it. You cannot tell me that you lent it. No. Because mine is a deposit, I've kept the money with you. I want to find it. So the banks have to match that to make sure that assessment that if Richard's money is in the bank, I've given it to John, John is able to bring it back when Richard comes to him.
But what
That's where the problem is.
I should amplify from what you've said to back to the COVID-19 is what we've been talking about in this space. That you have to be formal. Register you register your business, have recorded books and audited books of accounts so that you're credible, more credible. Because now you only want to get the 20. If you don't register your business, you can access until up to 20 million. But if you want more than that, because then you have to have the business compliance. And I want to talk to those who are in business like myself and they are listening today. There's no business that can make sense without scaling. So if you're going to continue wanting to be an SME, then you'll just be there. You'll be like my brothers, my relatives who say I'm used to my poverty. So you'd stay in that state. But if you really want to grow and become rich and become a multi-billionaire, you have to then scale your business. And for you to be able to scale your business meaningfully, you have to incorporate your business. You have to hire an accountant. You have to make sure that you audit your books, and you also have to make sure that you bank all the monies. Because then you have the risk to show that you have a trend. The account is active and you bank your money. Because some of us like to do business so informal. This informal thing is one that is going to keep us backwards. Because we have to formalize ourselves. We are talking about growth. But as long as we want to develop, we have to start following some of those rules for us to be able to grow. Citizens and friends, so they will have the easy way of doing things. The easy way is not going to take us anywhere. The primary school that I went to, Red Hill Primary School, we had a motto: hard work pays. So that's what I learned in primary. That's why I work hard.
That's why you're here.
So if your school has a motto that laziness pays, then you will not be happy.
There are some questions that I really want to appreciate those following this conversation online. We apologize as and when we had the sound feedback to Heise, apologies on that and the others. But someone has asked a question here. There is a lady who has said, Nyawuhara Julian Chitunga. She says, I've applied for this fund, but the story is very unfortunate. I will share it one day.
We hope this was the day.
I think she's trying to process how she was frustrated and all. Then under 256, that is under Anite Evelyn, how do you expect a local salon board, chapati business owner, to be having the balance records of account, trading license, or registration? In my view, still this money is just going to help the rich, not the poor businesses owners who were affected.
And let Richard explain, because this is not what he said.
Yes.
I think I heard what he said, but I don't, since he's here, I can get him.
We can go back again, the businesses that qualify.
Small person.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, so the small person just needs to have an account in the bank, because they'll not give you money if you don't have an account. If you are selling chapati and you don't have an account, so how do you get it? And there are other, maybe the minister should say other government intervention. They should train parish development model. It was meant mostly for those who don't have accounts, who are down small. So these ones are people who already have some business account. They can be identified, they have been banking, they have maybe premises where they can be found. Because if you give money to MTMB, now where will you find you? You need to have a place of abode where they can find you. So the other people who don't have other government intervention to benefit from. Possibly they are in a parish development model program.
But
Right?
when it's development model there, we also need it to be in a circle. You must
So
belong.
they can be in a circle and where you do business. And maybe but those are not big really. You have somebody who has capital of 10,000. Now 10,000 you are not going to go into a bank.
But if they have a team there, they can have an association.
That's what I said, that an association can actually come to the bank. They even less. 20 is maximum. Some people's business need 500,000.
Okay.
There is 2 million.
Just to break, what he's trying to say is that we are encouraging people to have bank accounts. You can't financial inclusion. You have to come to the bank because if you're a Matembe, but Matembe, okay, the ones who walk around hawkers. Let me leave the Uganda ones alone. Massacre is fun. If you're a hawker,
yes,
and you have actually you've been making money, but you're keeping your money under your pillow.
Correct.
So nobody will know that you actually have money,
You're
that
bankable.
you're bankable. So what we're trying to say is that we want to formalize the system. We want to formalize the SME. Remember, an SME is a multi-billion company in waiting. It ran well, organized well. So this actually instills organization spirit.
I just wanted to say one thing. That borrowing is not bad. Nobody has borrowed without borrowing. You need to be in the formal institutions, access these funds. From your own pocket, it is very hard to borrow. You cannot have a multi-billion company just from your salary, from your father's say property. No, you need to be in the formal sector. And then you can get information. These banks will tell you what to do. But I want also to tell these people who are chasing Algeria and others. These people are chasing Uganda. It's also Uganda. Why are Ugandans in commercial banks not serving their colleagues?
Mindset.
That's what you have. There is a lot of work to do there.
There is a message
Because
here. A gentleman called Sam Ogwad says the requirement to get this money can enable local small businesses, persons to access, but we need a review. And he takes a picture of the application requirements. 1 is bank account, 2 bankable proposal, 3 CRB report, 4 valuation report, 5 spousal consent, 6 farm business records, that is audited financials, 7 business cash flows, 8 security, especially for amounts that are beyond 20 million, and 8 where the amount is less than 20 million. Alternative collateral may actually be, and has your logo here. You see, Ugandans evidence took a screenshot and they has tweeted this.
That's how valuable.
It's okay. So it has listed everything for somebody who is taking planning. Because he has listed the land titles, spousal consent. Not everything applies to every
Valuation report.
No, those ones don't apply to everything.
Financial.
So that is the list of everything.
Okay.
So the bank will choose what is applicable to you. CRB report is not your problem. The bank will get it for you. They are the ones to query. It is not you. So they'll ask the CRB your credit history, how you have been behaving. You know, sometimes people have complained to me that the banks have chased. We got the credit reference bureau. They did not even pay money in the closed bank. They did not pay money in NBC in current bank. So if you did pay a bank and close, how are they going to give you money? Unless you are saying they should also close.
For me,
So people should also know that when you borrow, you will have to take back money.
No,
you are not borrowing a donation.
I think, Richard, we need to look at the banks who are also compliant, who are really giving out this money. And we commend them, but also then know that these are the ones who can actually work with us. I don't see why we should then continue working with this bank who has only given one person, zero up to this time, 3 people. We go with the banks that have given 700, 110, and then we have a meeting with these ones because I believe these are the ones who have the citizens. Because you just mentioned the point. Why I say this is because you say there are some banks, there are Ugandans working there, but they are also making life difficult for their fellow citizens. Now, for us who get our living through this fellow Ugandans, the taxpayer, those who pay taxes and then they pay our salary, we have to make this easy for them. My recommendation that we should have this discussion further back in our boardroom is that we already know this report is very clear. We know the banks that are compliant. And we now want to make it easy so that we don't get for a banker to take their time to say, actually, the CRB report doesn't apply to you. That loan officer should be that one who is nationalist. Because I'm telling you, it takes the spirit of nationalism. So we have to look at their characteristics. You say for you to be given money, they observe your character. Now, for us, we should observe their character
Of the banks.
of the banks.
Why the political exposure?
What I mean is, I cannot agree with you because I agree totally.
Yes.
If somebody is willing to help in Ghana, we encourage them more. But even banks like Opunke, Bank, they see more money. Even if they lend the whole 100 billion, you have no problem. That is the best that they could reach. But there is money. We have now about 95 billion in the bank, plus the 95 in the commercial bank. That's over about 190 billion. So 190 is available. But what I'm saying, between the bank, we didn't lend all the 100.
Yeah.
What we want is money to go to the population.
Right, which has given to 100. These ones we can give them some.
Yes.
Post bank,
But
we can give some.
there is no limit to any bank.
No, the thing is we have to delete them. These are they already deleted the citizens.
But you see, Honorable, my chance
We need to encourage
that you need to delete the ones who have
not
less.
delete, encourage those who are.
No, you see, this is not the business of encouraging. This is the business of give out the money. You have agreed, you've signed with us, but you're going to give out the money. Then when you reach there, you live and done what you ought to do and do what you ought not to do. That is not truth in you.
Honorable, you've totally picked Museveni's approach. His Excellency. It's a totally fresh approach. We are going to go this the revolutionary way. You're either for this or you're not.
There's a point has to revolutionize this.
We have to be serious. We are being person we are talking. He is our son.
Correct.
Why would they do something? It's our duty.
It's nonsense.
Yeah.
Because
We are
within the country,
yes.
if we don't revolutionize our approach of supporting and serving the citizens, the truth is we are not going to make ourselves get out of poverty. We are at war. We want to get this poverty out.
Correct.
We have said, fine, the money is here. If you go to UIA, the chairman here will tell you, we will give you free land. If there is someone who does not want to give the investor free land, there is money, then why should the person stay?
I hear
It is
you.
very simple.
Honorable Minister, it is already 7:40. We have only 20 minutes to get done. We have some lucky Ugandans who are going to ask questions. I have Nyauhara Julian, she's going to respond. And I have Ude Ifener. I hope he's Ugandan. And then I have Andrew Sebute, who is equally going to ask her. Julian, open your mic and ask your question. Please be directive to who the question is going to. Julian?
She actually inquired among like 3 colleagues in the whole loan department and everything. Yeah.
Julian, do you mind telling us the bank, because we have the regulator here, we have the minister here. Just be free.
Is it okay?
That's very fine. It's okay.
That was St. Mary Bank.
You see,
They are not here.
yeah, they have three.
What?
What for? Correct. Mm.
So many women, association, trade and monetary. So really, I was interested in this whole because everybody like wanted this treats. So it was like a fact-finding mission. And I thought if I hope the service would also take to go, why not? And get it from. So I quickly insisted. I said, no, I need to find out because this is information we are getting from send because this was right after. So the lady after I sat almost 3 hours and then later someone came. Yes, that's how bad it was. So someone came and told me, yes, we told about this, but we are only funding bus and schools. That's what this project is covering. So I said, okay, I happen to have a kindergarten. So I said, fine, my kindergarten has been closed for 2 years. We are open. So can I apply? So the lady now realizes that. Then she starts, okay, this is how will you prove that you have been in existence for I think how many years? So, so I mean, later on, I sat with the manager. I said, okay, what do we? Are you people giving us this money or not? And then they said, we are advising you that you people shouldn't apply for this money. So I said, why? Because this money takes so long, we think you should. Anyway, after this hassle, you can realize it was a lot of, more than social bullying. So I walked out and I never came back to Pascal. I didn't need the loan that much. So I move out. So after 1 year, I come back. But this time it was to ensure that our members would be able to get this loan. So when I came back, this is exactly what happened. The manager told me we could not, they don't give out this money. You see, you people, they tell you this information, but we don't lend out this money. So I happen to have a close friend who is a bank manager in one of the other banks. So she sat with me, she told me, Julia, this money, I'm also a manager, but we have approved, I think, 5 loans in a period of around 3 years. So this money, our banks, our bosses don't allow us to lend out. This was a personal friend. She's actually a neighbor, my neighbor and a friend. So she told me, Julia, this banks, yes, it is out there. The money is it's in the bank. But our bosses don't allow us to lend out this money. Someone applies and the file stays on the desk forever. So somehow they don't allow us to lend out this. So I said, fine. So this Federation of Small Enterprises calls for a meeting. So I was interested. I really wanted to hear what they had to say. So I attended that meeting at Oma. I think the attendance was over 1,000 people. It was so huge. So huge. And in my heart, I imagined, I said, these people are wasting their time. I wish these people knew. So we sat and listened. Speakers were there, Bank of Uganda, all banks were there. So I picked, I specifically picked contacts of different different officers who really gave me an impression that this was working and So I went the next day. Again, I said, let me go back to Centenary Bank. So I went back to Centenary Bank. So what the lady told me first was, I advise you not to apply for that loan. So I said, why? And I was told, when you apply for that loan, it will take forever to approve because it has to go back to Bank of Uganda for approval. So I asked her, for how long? The loan may take 6 months. So I said, how do I chase a loan for 6 months? So she said, that's why I'm advising you. So, but in the conversation, she kept on saying, why don't you apply for another loan? Because she asked me, do you have an account? I said, yes. Can I look at your account? I gave it to her. So she said, can I look at all your details? Do you have security? I said, yes, you want security. And this is to Mr. Biagawa, please. I don't think the information you're giving here is right. I wish you do your due diligence, especially in the bank.
Okay.
Because you're saying that you need to correct for only 20 million. That is not true. These banks will actually demand for correct rate for 1 million. So I remember one officer told me, I like gave her, she said, how much money do you want? I just give. And by the way, for your information, I never went to these banks because I wanted this. But because I represent so many members, I think we have a membership of around 4,000 members. So because we have a big membership, so I went there to ask for these small scale business women to see if they could apply for these loans. So I told them, yes, I have not in a rush to get the loan. Can I wait for the 6 months? And the lady was like, but I advise you don't apply for this loan because you won't get that money. So I was interested. I asked, how many people have managed to get this loan? And I think she told me in her branch, they were like 3 or 4. This is what she told.
Okay.
And I was like, okay. So I got so interested. But then later someone told me that these people apply for this. The people who get these loans are people who are country in rural areas. So I said, then why do they advertise these programs? So I took a small interest and wrote to someone a small, I think it was an inbox or something from Bank of Uganda because I felt we should address this issue. And they never got back to me.
Julian, just for the interest of time, we need to know how long ago was this?
Let's count right from that workshop. Mr. Biagawa.
That was last year. Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you so much, Julian. That is, Chairman is going to respond to that, the ED. Let me have Ufineni. Comrade, if I pronounce your name wrongly, bear with me. Ude Ifine. Ude, kindly unmute your microphone and ask your question. Ude, are you there? Okay, let's hear from Andre. So Ude, kindly unmute your mic and ask your question. Andre, are you there? Okay. Sam, can you hear me? Sam Ogwan, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, Sam, kindly ask your question and to whom it's going to.
The panelists. I want to agree totally with Julia. But we all aware that that's what audio like for the young people, small scale enterprises. The majority of them. But when I look at the positions of someone accessing this money, and when you look at the current of the money I've been put into, you might be surprised that the person has been given funds. So the transfer rate has been reviewed, and if not, if you sum of money between very clear with capital. If you're only a small business of less than 5 million or less than 10 million, these are the conditions attached to it. Because we can only give you the conditions attached to the bank. and the bank use it to play around. Because literally, all this is aware that when a guideline has been pushed out, the people must follow it the way it is. So the people who are looking for this money will not have excuse. If the bank is demanding it, so as long as we need to be and make it as simple as possible for the banks to implement. And then second, I think it's either maybe we need to do away with the commercial banks that are 100% owned by private people. And look at the banks that don't have some social share in them. In your record, I think it's very clear by find that the first bank lending more, housing finance, lending more houses. But you can absent, you can company, you can secondary, you can public bank. And we have all the mixed of by the state of the financial institutions. And I think when you deal with this kind of people, they don't pay much people. Let's not get all the digital book by the things what people want and then you get from the back. I think the beneficiaries as well. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Let me allow one more last person. That's the question that we use the last 10 minutes to for the response. Abahu Alan.
Yes, Andrew, thank you very much. Mine is about the MOU that was signed between the government of Uganda and the commercial banks. I still have issues with most of those issues that we are underlining as measures for one to access the loan. For example, if you look at one of the terms, this loan will be given out to companies as a bribe for the previous loans.
Is this under the SBRF?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
And good to know that most businesses are affected and had very many non-performing loans. So that is one of them. There are very many ingredients that are under the MOU. So my advice give the federal minister of people go and encourage people to review the term between the government of Uganda, the central bank, and the commercial banks. And then the other thing would be about how the commercial banks facilitate such kind of relationships with government. I have good friends who are in the commercial banking industry, and I can authoritatively tell you that they don't appreciate it in repayment. Because, first of all, the interest rate is fixed, usually at 10% for this very facility. And there is no way the bank is going to break even. There is also a condition whereby the bank has to use certain percentage of the money that is around 50%. So if the bank is not, they are lending at 20% interest rate, and here you tell them to lend at 10%, they will not give it a priority. So my encouragement would be let us use government-owned financial institutions.
Thank you so much. Let's have the ED respond to each one of you. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you very much, and thank you very much, the people of us, Julian, Samuel, and Mr. Abba. I first want to apologize to Julian for what happened. We apologize for that. It shouldn't have happened. We will talk to the banks. We know the people in charge, so we will take it up. But we are very sorry. We should have written to Bank of Uganda so that we take it up at the beginning. And this is also what Sam is raising. And he's saying we need to look at the terms of reference. This is right. And I want to thank the minister who is in this meeting. She's always on my case that I should look at this and make sure that money goes to Uganda. So we are going to look at the terms of reference. We were supposed to make a presentation today, but I think because she was having other issues handle with the minister and meetings. So we will do this. We are going to look at the terms and change them. And this is what also about is raising. People have borrowed before, can they borrow again? And also the government-owned banks have all the money that they should be taking, but I think we shall engage them with the minister. We'll look at these terms of reference and the conditions and try to change them But our call to Ugandans is that when you borrow, please make sure that you have the will to pay back, because this money is borrowed. If we borrow and pay, then we give to your neighbor, we keep giving the next person, so that we can encourage more businesses to come up. And please use the avenue of giving complaints to us. If we don't get the feedback, we will not know what to do and what people are feeling. I hope there was one beneficiary who could also give a testimony, but we don't have those who have gotten the money. Maybe they are busy using the money. But we have given money to some people, and it has been easy for them. But there are those who have unfortunately had already. It is unfortunate, but you see, it is a process. It is a process. We shall do awareness. The over 1,000 people we had in Ugogo, they should have come. We had another, maybe the same number in Barara, but we were going to find out. This is why we get feedback. But what I can tell you, from the time we started to now, we are seeing a change. We are getting more applications than we used to get. People are getting to know and put documents together and come. But we should also make it easy for them to get for money. That is the message, and that is the promise we are making the minister. Look at it and come back to Ugandans to make sure that they get this money. But please give us your complaints so that we can task these people who are not helping Uganda to grow. And we have also made it easy. We have developed the system so that these banks do not have to carry files for us. They just upload the documentation file on the system, we get approved, and then we send them that.
Another 6 months ago.
And one condition in this program is that once a bank is happy with the application, they give you the money immediately. They don't wait for Bank of Uganda.
What do you mean by
Bank of
happy?
Uganda will just refund.
What do you mean by happy, Edie?
If they have approved, because they also give an offer letter before they come to Bank of Uganda. Once you get that offer letter, say you have been given 10 million, you get the 10 million immediately. You sign it. You don't have to wait for Bank of Uganda. It is the bank to wait for Bank of Uganda to receive the other 5. But you should get your 10 and go. Then we deal with the bank. To refund them their.
What is the turnaround time between when the file
The
comes?
maximum, if the file has no issues, it should be 1 month. If it has issues, we have to come do back and forth, possible 2 weeks. We have put a maximum of 2 weeks.
Okay.
That is our commitment. And
Honorable,
with the system, we should make it shorter.
Honorable
But
Minister,
we are sorry to Ugandans. What has gone wrong, we'll correct it.
I want to make a request on behalf of very many Ugandans on Twitter and beyond that we have the executive director next month again, still about this issue, because the feedback is overwhelming. And I just want to know, Honorable Minister, what do you make of the feedback you've had with people, the lived experiences of those who have tried to access these funds? Because it's this that makes the investment landscape smooth and worth it. Here we are, they are frustrated, they have tried, she sat for 3 hours. The other one, and Samuel is a national youth secretary general, represents us the youth. He deals with more youth, and this one, Julian deals with more women. We believe they should be at the forefront of the investment agenda. This frustration, Honorable Minister, what does it show you, and where do we go from here?
You see, the Bible tells us we shall know them by the fruits they bear. Julian has told us something very clear.
Yes.
It's not, Julian is not from among us.
No, she has funds. She has lived it.
Julian? Because Julian has told us the bank's name. Because naming and shaming is the only way that we make it out of this mess. So I want to start from you. Julian has told us the bank is not a bank. For a fact, from the time we started this person, there is for Centenary Bank only one has received them. One.
3 applied.
4 applied. They approved 3. They gave 1 person. So we know them by the fruits they're there. Let me tell you, when government came up with this project, we had a discussion with the central bank on who should we deal with to give us the money. And I'm very, very happy. I want to really commend Mr. Bielga Because it's not every day that you get civil servants who say, we are sorry for where we're going wrong. It's not every day that you get civil servants who says, let's go and review. So really, may your days of being on earth be longer, because you're really doing good work, and I mean it. And for what he has said, when we started, and this, because he has said it, we are going back to the factory setting. When we started, we went out. The commercial banks and the government banks, everyone expressed interest to take this money. We had actually wanted to go on strictly with the government banks. We had to open up because there was interest. And we said, let us open up. But of all those that came on board, Opportunity Bank is the one that has performed the best. It's not government, but it has performed the best. How many disbursements have they given? 735.
In 2 years.
In 2 years. That means that if we give them and give them more support, we can actually see more disbursement. And as you know, Opportunity Bank is not everywhere in Uganda. Then the second bank that I want to commend, which is also not government, is Pride Microfinance. Oh yes, this is government. That is Pride Microfinance. They had approvals of 126, and they have given out to 101 people disbursed. They are of course far below the private bank, but they are the second best. The third best happens to be the government bank, which is Posta, giving to 27 people. They had 61, they approved 52, and 27 they have given. The third is the Finance Trust Bank, which has given 27 people applied, 25 approvals, and 23 disbursement. Now the trading one, Housing Finance Bank, because this is a name and shame deal. Housing Finance, 10 people applied for this money. There are 7 approvals, 0 disbursement.
2 years.
In 2 years. Really. Next week, we're going to have the Agala back. The back here. And we're going to get, I want him to select for me the best performing bank on agriculture credit facility. And they should explain to us how the people were able to get this. Then we will come back with Pride, with the COVID money, and discussing the opportunity and the bank's performance. For me, I'm happy that we are going to do this review, and we take it. That's why we have this space. Let's go back and do the review. Even the public review, natural justice is here. We will only now want to deal with those who are giving. And I can assure you all the banks will pull out and want to give out this money. So let us first say, democratically, if you are not disbursed money to at least 10 people, even we're giving it so low. Yes. The lowest 10 people. If you have not given to the 10 people in the last 2 years, you're out of this deal. Let's just work with those who have given. Then we see the challenges and improve the regulations. The question asked by Sam, that we need to look at the TORs that we give. I also thought that we should. He's right. We have thought we will have our top management and we have these discussions, but because of the budget consultation meetings that we're doing, we couldn't sit. But Honorable Matia Kasaidia and myself and all the other ministers in the ministry, we are also very concerned that we should give this money out after it should increase. So we'll look at the TORs and spell it out more clearly. Because whereas it is said, if you have a registered bank account, if your bank account is there and they can see your character, I mean, someone can posture. So we have to define that more. We have to define that character. Because you know that you know those who don't have. You know stories of those who don't have. They dress smartly, they borrow their brothers for suits, they dress smartly and they poster and they actually have it all. And they can open that account for that week, deposit, you get yours and run out. I think we have to define this more about going it to form of people formalizing businesses so that we can kind of Ugandans.
If you have a timeline on that, as and when we're going to make the other ministers telling us to the reviews. Yes, the reviews.
For me and and my brother Biogaba, who has taken the business of Ugandans as his business. We have agreed next week we have to meet these banks who have done very well, understand, and then we come back to top management, because we can't have him every evening here.
He has a family to attend to.
Morrison, who is dedicated to this, and myself and you.
Ugandan.
So we can see that in the next month. But next week we're having him back.
Yes, for the agricultural fund.
Facility. He's going to select for us the best bank who has given out the money and how to access it. And how to access it. Yeah. He already has the result. General must be promoted to the question that Sam, Julian, and Azam, they've spoken. What we need to understand is that they've not spoken for themselves, they've spoken for their members. And I love the way Julian did it. I went there to just see
on
behalf of my members. So this 400 people plus, if it is true that we went and talked to 1,000 people, then you went to another place, Barara, Masita. How come that it is just a total of 1,189 who are talking about it? So that calls for a review of who is supposed to get the money, and also which bank is the best for us to use to be able to give this money. So I really want to ask Ugandans to keep on giving their views going, because their feedback, we cannot review ourselves. It cannot just be people who sit in the boardroom who will be able to have the suggestions. Bring your suggestions, we internalize them, we give it to experts like Richard, who sits in the bank and he has a whole team under him who will review, and then we come and make for us proposals coming out of the proposal that the Ugandans will have given.
That's amazing. Board Chair, thank you so much, Honorable Minister. In the interest of time, Board Chair, what are your parting shots today? Believe you me today.
I hope these are not my parting shots. I still have to part with
I have loved one thing that people are very interested about this credit financing. They have tried it and they have failed. And they are willing to open up without fear of favor. I love the guts they have today and the wits they actually share. But what are your parting shots as well as you discuss today?
Yeah, what I want to say is that these credit facilities that are in the country and town are very important to catalyze the business. But after COVID, we are talking about resilience. You're talking about people getting back in the game. And it's very important that this money is not, lying idle in the banks. It's extremely very important, so I'm extremely very happy. Because like the minister mentioned, the SMEs of today, small businesses of today, the unicorns or the billionaires of tomorrow. And these small businesses, they are the local investors. Believe that if they are facilitated and their businesses grow, they become the bigger investors we want. Then finally, in terms of financial inclusion and credit access, I think these funds and the space in them provides us a basis for the future, seamless credit. Because you need to reach the situation where, banks are giving us credit cards. We go and spend and they trust us to pay back. Because some of you yes, and you know why? Do you know why? Because they say once they give you a credit card, they don't have an address. They don't know where to find it. But now we have got geolocators.
Oh yes,
from the satellites.
Oh no,
they can know this person is here, lives here. So we need to now even advance. We getting credit cards. That one we are not lining up for. Thank you.
Director, what are your parting shots as well? And I really want to commend you, one, for being very humble. That's so kind of you to say, I apologize on behalf of Bank of Uganda. You took our pain at heart and you see us as Ugandans and you hear us. That means a lot to us. And going forward, we still need more of you. And if you don't mind, in your parting shots, you can share how Ugandans can reach you as an individual to complain better. Please. Complain.
Thank you very much, moderator. I want to thank Uganda who have listened.
Correct.
And the panelists and for the minister to invite me to come and share our views. We are here for Uganda, not for our own good salary. We have served Uganda. So those who have asked and those who have not had the chance to ask, you can write to the executive director of finance, Bank of Uganda, or even to the governor, deputy governor, whichever office, these complaints will come to me, and you put your telephone number. I pledge to call you and help you in whatever challenge you have in accessing this money. This money is for Ugandans, from the taxpayers' pocket, so it should help us to develop our country and help the government do the programs they are supposed to do for us, have better Uganda and transform this country.
Thank you so much. Do you allow me to read your office line?
Yes, even the mobile.
Okay, so in case you want to reach the Executive Director of Finance Bank of Uganda, that is Mr. Leogama Richard, call him on 0414 25 84 41. 0414 25 84 41 or 46. Or you can send him a WhatsApp on 0772 46 83 35. And his email address is rbiarugaba, R for rabbits, biarugaba at bou.or.ug. And just so you know, he comes from the other generation. You can still reach him on rbiarugaba at yahoo.com. And he will respond to all your comments and he will give you feedback. Please, these are public servants who have chosen to serve you. Use them as and when they can still serve us. Honorable Minister, now your participants.
I'm so excited that I don't even want to give my parting thoughts because today's X space is very inclusive. You did mention how the media is passing this message. We have UBC in the room, and before I give my parting thoughts, UBC coverage, maybe Ruth wants to ask one question to us,
Yes.
and then we could be able to answer that. But as a Ruth prepares his question to answer, I'm very happy that NTV is doing it and is broadcasting through Andrew. With our dedicated. What's your name? Amazon. Not only our moderator, but he is a Ugandan who has the heart to make other Ugandans to benefit and get these opportunities. The real reason why we want to be having this space is to make Ugandans know about the opportunities that government has in place and also make sure that Ugandans do access these opportunities, whether it is money, whether it is a tax incentive, or it's a non-tax incentive, because we want to promote Ugandan domestic investors to also come into the money economy and benefit from the opportunities the government has put in place. So perhaps before I say my final point, through you, our lawyer moderator.
We can have one question from the National Breakfast.
Just one question. Questions only answer the same question.
Okay.
In any way you want. With what you have had, what you have observed, what extent would you say commercial funds are trusted in government?
Maybe a regulator should speak fast.
Okay, thank you for the question. I will not say that they are deliberately frustrating the government programs, but on this particular one, they have not performed to our expectation. And our role is to work with them to find out why, so that they can serve Ugandans as they signed on agreement. I think agreement is enforceable. It's an agreement. They signed. So if we see zero application, what is happening? We need to ask them what is happening, why did you sign this agreement? And also take it up with they have an office for association of bankers called the UBA, the one headed by Wilbrod. Give a call to Wilbrod and get a better understanding as to why people can sign an agreement and perform according to the agreement. We need that feedback, possibly so that we can make a better agreement. They have to tell us what happened with the agreement. I think that's what I can say for now. But I think in some cases, possibly they have supported, but this particular one, because we'll come back next week on agricultural credit facility, for it has taken long. We started in 2010, but we see a lot of progress and they have worked. For this particular one, they need to tell us more. What went wrong?
I'm just returning from West Nile, from a consultative meeting, or budget consultative meeting. I also found the same thing. The bank that actually gave out money, the highest was Post Bank, and this was in Yumbo. The rest of the districts who were fidgeting, and I'll tell you like the districts, the Bongi, they were fidgeting as to working with the Centenary Bank. They are not able to disperse the parish development not the money. So I am very interested in this subject and this discussion, because if you have signed an agreement with government that is going to give out money to the citizens, why don't you discuss the money? Why don't you live up to your expectations? Because it is a breach of trust with government. Who is your regulator? Who has given you the enabling environment and given you the percentage? So we need to have this discussion, and we will continue naming and shaming and exciting and awarding those who are really working with us and those who are not working with us. And then we tell Ugandans, please don't go taking your money to those banks. Take your money. Already now the regulator has told us that the banks can only survive with depositors' money. Now we know the solution. You just tell Ugandans, please don't take your money there. These ones are not working for us. Those who are working for us, you say Ugandans, please take your money there because they have your interest at heart. Because this is a very serious issue. If you have my interest at heart, you should have yours. If you don't have my interest at heart, then
you love me, I love you.
Maybe I hate you. As simple as that.
What I could say is that in some countries, interest rates are zero and minus, because banks want to capitalize investment, want to make sure that the business is growing, and the banks have become more creative in order to de-risk, lending. Yeah, but because when you meet banks, you see the environment is risky because of the enterprises that happen. We don't know if people are going to pay back. They always complain. But I think commercial banks may want, or other banks may want to become creative and figure out a way to work with investment authorities, to work with insurance companies, also invest in research, see how we do the risk instead of just complaining. That's number one. Number two, Honorable Minister and the Bank of Uganda, I think we need to start a conversation in government of how do we move from commercial banks to investment banks. Such that you have banks that are focused on driving investment, not just looking at the return through interest rate.
Thank you. Well, friends, we would like to extend our sincere appreciation to each and every one of you for your active participation in today's Twitter space. Honorable wants to endorse something in 1 minute, Honorable.
Thank you. I want to endorse my friend AIGP, former Hassan Kasinje. He gave me a book. He saw me read a book, and he gave me this book, Chosen. And there's something very exciting about this book that I thought that resonates with what we're discussing today. His title is Chosen, and the title of the book, and says from the community to community policing and back to the community. So why do I say that this is very exciting? First, thank you very much, Hassan. I received this book today, and I'm going to read it, my friend. I will make sure that I read it. I love to read. I am very interested, and I will read it. Thank you. And I'll buy more from you to give out.
Amen.
But as I do that, what is exciting here, what Hassan is trying to tell us, those who are holding positions in government, like Yergawa, myself, and Morrison, is that back to the communities where we shall be. Yes, so we have to work for our people. So it's very, very important that you take your job serious and working for the people, even when you know that you're in private space and you serving the people. Just know that that is where you belong. At one point when you retire, that's where you go. If you don't serve them very well, when you retire, they will not help you carry your water.
You got it from the minister, and I want to appreciate you. Mr. Biarugava, I can't thank you enough. Thank you so much for coming. It's been very kind of you and very humble of you to accept our conversations. We wish we could run this for like 4 hours, but we have quite a lot of things to run as a country. But we want to appreciate you, the board chair for the investment arm. Investment is not just about monetary resources, investing time, effort, and expertise to build a brighter future. You've done that, and I want to appreciate you every Wednesday. Today, you are very exhausted. Today, he was about to come here on a boat because of the rain, and he didn't fix it.
You go alone. We have to fix all the roads in Kampala.
Kampala is a mess, but we want to thank you for going through all that and made it here. I will still say, because these are honest and comfortable conversations, until the listeners, we want to thank you for being there and listening all through. I can't appreciate you enough for the data you've given. Please call and DM the minister as and when you see these topics coming up. The feedback keeps on coming, and keep it coming. We shall have Mr. Elgava next week, and subsequently you can respond or send him an email or give feedback to Bank of Uganda. Use the direct contact forms of Bank of Uganda. Go online, search for Bank of Uganda, go on the tab Contact Us. Go there, get the email, and send them the email about this fund, but it's coming back for more funds. And I want to thank the entire team that has been here. While we're speaking, we're only focused, but we have a bunch of people here who make this happen. I want to thank each one of you, the effort, the tenacity you've given to this conversation. Until next time, thank you so much for being with Chat with Anite. Hashtag smell money, hashtag smell world, hashtag invest in Uganda and make money. Have the best of the week. And it's a wrap.